Aloha, everyone. I hope everyone has escaped the past three market sessions without any major damage. Today's sell-off was extremely vicious. We got a flash crash in the morning. A lot of stocks had mini flash crashes. Now I'm very thankful for my sell stops, obviously. Remember, all year long, we were whipped out of some stocks here and there. Just basically every month it would happen. And not naming names, but a very intelligent trader that's part of our chat room told me that I need to over optimize my sell stops. I refuse to do that, and of course, it has paid off because now, they've saved my ass these past two sessions. But that being said, basically, the market is just totally toast. It's done. DOA, even if you think that we saw a bottom today, you can be sure there is no way we are going to rally immediately off these lows without any kind of volatility, without any kind of retest of the lows. It's just not going to happen. And before I want to go, the only thing that I can think of that I've seen, I started to trade back in 1996. I was not making consistent money until 1999 when everything just worked out perfectly and things were smooth sailing in my life until about 2009 when I just did not adapt well to the new market. And it took me all the way to 2012 to really get my bearings straight again. And it's been fine ever since. And it really took off in late 2013 when I adapted my methodology using tight sell stops, where before I wasn't using them on the books. Well, now that they've saved, if you're still long, I mean, like I said, I didn't say this yet, but I wrote on my new positions page, I'm still tracking 20 stocks on an end-of-day basis. However, in my personal portfolios, I'm only long 6 stocks now. And two of them off the top of my head is Tree. Tree's final sell stop is the gap up's low a day. And ABMD, I got half of the remaining sell stops right here below today's low a day and the other half below the gap up. I'm still in FDEF, for instance. My final sell stop has gone from here to today's low a day. And KRNY is a speculative stock I'm still long, but my final sell stop was here. That gets moved up today's low a day. I think it's only 1 penny higher. But right there's 4 of the 6. I can't really even think of the other 2 that I'm still long. Maybe if I look at this list. Oh, Fix. Still long Fix. So Fix, my final sell stop is below this low a day. And am I still long ADPT? Yeah, I still have ADPT. So there it is. There's your 6 stocks. So ADPT, I should have wrote this down probably before I made this video, huh? So the lows here was my final sell stop level, but I'm bringing it up now that it's broken the 50-day moving average with negative BOP and higher volume to 28.79. But those are the 6 stocks I'm still long. ADPT, Fix, KRNY, FDEF, ABMD, Tree. That's it. That's it. We've just gone from tracking 100 stocks about 2 months ago. Actually, it was only a month and a half ago. Went from tracking 100 stocks on this day to now I'm only tracking 20. Quite carnage. And on top of that, there really is no new long positions to even consider. The best setups this evening was Zeus from my Can Slim stand. And that's nowhere near being purchased. And then the best one 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row this one stood out off its lows. AEMD. I still know nothing about this stock. I don't even know what its fundamentals are. All I know is that it has a very nice technical pattern here at its lows in the middle of the market selling. And that's about all I know about this one. I will only get into it and start to research it if, let's say, it has another update tomorrow on its hugest volume ever with Maxstream Bop. Okay, maybe we already have a new long position, but for now, you can forget it. Another stock holding up well, VRTU, nice reversal. SGU, but you can just see with these intraday moves, the ones that are holding on, Coke, it's just it's volatile, it's wild, and it's going to take a while to fix. But I just basically have just shown you every single stock I like, including a ProShares Ultra Short Australian Dollar Croc, and that's it. There is nothing else. The best setups continue to be now on the short side. CLTX I like for an overnight short position. You could use the high day of 316 as a final sell stop if it does, or buy stop if it doesn't go lower immediately. And then DMRC on an end-of-day basis. This one looks like it wants to go down to 22, but like I said, I'm not interested in shorting these kind of stocks anymore. I want supernova parabolic stocks. CLTX is a short-term example. EROS was a recent one. Remember, I considered it a short sale back here on the 18th. That's whenever I flagged it on the new positions page, and then broke down on the 21st, and today following through with more selling. But since that short signal, it has actually worked, and it's down 19%. But still, in this market, I want to hold on and just focus on the inverse ETFs. TEX, SRTY, BIS, TVIX, and DXD are all performing well for us. DXD and TVIX is not performing well for me because, unfortunately, I didn't split up my limit orders in the gap up on Friday morning on TVIX to a half market, half limit. And on DXD on Thursday, I didn't split it up half market, half limit. Dumbass, stupid, silly, costly mistake, but it's okay. This breakdown happened faster than any previous breakdown I've seen. The 1997 Asian Contagion, the 1998 LTCM, that all happened quickly, but it was more drawn out. This is the fastest 3-day sell-off I've ever seen in the market. I can't remember the last time I've seen something like this from the highs. Now, if we're already in a downtrend, already below the 5200-day moving average, and then this starts to happen, seen it before. But off the highs, I've never seen this before. And the last time I even know about it or can even look at it as a time when I wasn't trading, because I believe I was 8 years old, if my math is correct. But let's just go back to 1987 really quick so I can show you guys that even if you think that we have bottomed, it's going to be a while. So in 1987, whenever you had that sell-off from the highs back here, much more severe as you can see, but there were 3 nasty days, and then boom, we had the big crash. So maybe Tuesday we crashed. But let's say that you thought that that was the bottom there, okay? You went long the next day and it turned out well for a few days, but then look, we're retesting the lows immediately on the 26th. We start to move higher again, and then once again, we can't beat out the old highs. So here we are testing the lows again in November, and in December, here we are again at the lows. Now, finally here, we start to work on follow-through days, and then we start to trend higher. But once again, like I said, that follow-through day and the trend higher came after 1-2 months of stocks going nowhere and retesting the previous lows. So even if you think that we're going to bottom here, you still have 2 months and a retest before you can really start to look at, okay, maybe now we can move higher, because the damage in these charts that has been done is just monumental. Not going to be repaired anytime soon. I mean, my God, just look at like Google, Apple, Facebook. I mean, this takes a long time to fix. And for anybody that thinks that the market's so oversold it can't get, any worse, I want to remind everybody that just looking at the NASDAQ and focusing on the NASDAQ, MACD still isn't at the lows in October. TSV still isn't at the lows of October. Stochastics still aren't even at the lows that we saw in July. RSI is getting there, but still isn't at the lows we saw in October. Now let's turn it to a weekly. Stochastics, nowhere near the 2014 lows, but let's even be more like, let's get more into like when we had fear, the 2008 lows. Look at how far away the NASDAQ stochastics are from being oversold. Look at how far away RSI is from being oversold. Now let's look at a monthly chart. We are just now coming off overbought monthly conditions. We are nowhere near oversold levels on the stochastics or RSI. Now let's look at MACD and TSV. Weekly TSV, once again, going back to the 2008 lows, weekly TSV, nowhere near the lows. Weekly MACD, nowhere near the lows. So how we look on a monthly? Holy shit, we're still in overbought territory on both. Nowhere near the 2000 or 2008 lows. So it's kind of hard to be extremely, extremely bullish that we're oversold here. And this goes for the S&P 500. You'll see the same similar situation. Not only are we not touching the previous October lows, we've actually surpassed it on TSV. But on a weekly, as you can see, we still have further to go. Looking at the 2008 lows, MACD, TSV, nowhere near the bottom there. And going back to a weekly, going back to 2008 on the S&P 500, nowhere near oversold on stochastics or RSI. And on a monthly, once again, we are only now coming off extreme overbought conditions. So there could still be a lot more time and further to go on the downside before we actually do get truly oversold. This sell-off could still be the very start of something much worse. I recommend keeping a very open mind here. Cash is king right now. It's all about day trading these indexes intraday. The VIX has hit over 30. Over 20, it starts to get good for day trading the indexes for support, resistance, reversals using sell stops and buy stops close to where you take a position. But right now, the only thing I'm interested in doing at all is trading the indexes intraday. Short selling intraday, pumps and dumps, supernovas, parabolics are probably out the window because no stock's going to go parabolic supernova. Still looking for contract wins and earnings winners, but in this market environment, they're not going to move. So the play is the indexes intraday, and I prefer obviously the leveraged ones: TQQQ, SQQQ, SRTY, SPXU, SPXL, whatever you can find, 3 times inverse ETFs intraday. That is the current play in this market environment. On an end of day basis, guys, cash is king, and it probably will be for a very long time. And by a very long time, because people's time frames are so short, I mean at least 2 to 10 weeks, 1 to 2, 3 months minimum before we start to get probably a lot of new long positions again.